No, so we're here the week of the portion of Emor, and since it was a special request to go and to try to collect stories, miracle stories of the war, of the recent war, Rahman al-Islam, that we're in, there was something that was printed, and we'll speak about this story tonight. We're talking about a story that took place not far after the beginning of the war. It was in Hanukkah, the sixth day, the sixth light of Hanukkah. There was a regiment of soldiers, and they belonged to the Egoz unit. Okay, it's infantry, and but it's like it's on the verge of special what are they called, forces, and this particular force was sent in to sent into Gaza to purify an area in one of the neighborhoods of Gaza, and as they were getting up in the morning, it started to rain, very heavy rain, and that's the last thing that soldiers enjoy to have when they have to go out to fight, to go through the mud and the water and get wet. But that was the morning happening. As they were progressing into one of the buildings, so there was a announcement on the radio, and they went and they gave the announcement back to the main base that there was an RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade, which was basically an anti-tank missile that was shot upon them, and then all of a sudden, the communications connection was lost. Meantime, we want to go back in history. This same regiment that was brought into Gaza, there was a fellow, a soldier called Shlomo Chaim Shire. Shlomo Chaim Shire, and he's a Lubavitcher Chassid, and he was in this regiment of the Egoz, and he decided that in order to go and to maintain and protect the entire regiment, that he's going to do one of the main mivtzoim that the Rebbe directs in order to go and to protect soldiers. All right, and this is the mivtza of the mivtza of Tzedakah, organizing that every single soldier in his regiment every day will give a coin to charity, to give a coin to Tzedakah. There are other mivtzoim, other mitzvahs that the Rebbe goes and instructs in regard to going and protecting soldiers. For instance, putting on tefillin, making sure that the mezuzahs are checked and kosher, having a letter in one of the Sefer Torahs, which is a major campaign that the Rebbe has gone out in order to go and to bring protection to the soldiers. But the one major one that this Shlomo Chaim decided that he was going to take upon himself is the mivtza of charity, of tzedakah. And as it's brought by our rabbis of blessed memory, when a person goes and gives charity, gives tzedakah to a poor person, Hashem comes and says, you have saved the soul of this poor person, because without you, he would not have food to be able to sustain himself, and he wouldn't lose his life, God forbid. Hashem, measure for measure, comes and says that therefore, if chas v'sholem, once your son, this person that gave charity, your son or your daughter will be in peril, will be in a situation of danger, so I myself will go and remove myself from all my all those things that are occupying me, so per se, and protect your son and your daughter. So this is exactly what he started to do, and every day he made sure to go to all the soldiers in his regiment. He had a charity box, and he had coins, and he made sure that every single soldier gave tzedakah. One day when he was going around and collecting and giving tzedakah, collecting the tzedakah, there was an officer that called him over, and he said, "Hey, soldier," he said, "I don't understand. What's your thing over here with giving people coins and putting them in the box? What's this all about?" So he said, "Listen, it's the mitzvah of tzedakah. And in regard to charity, tzedakah, it states very clearly. First and foremost, it states that tzedakah tatzil mimavet, that charity will save an individual from death, God forbid. And second of all, it says about charity that that the great is charity, that it hails and brings faster the true and the complete redemption." The officer was convinced. Well, I mean, so that's bringing protection to the entire regiment. That sounds good. Sounds okay. And the entire regiment was convinced, to the point where every single day there was not one soldier that missed giving tzedakah, giving charity. That brings us back to the soldiers that on Hanukkah went in to purify this neighborhood from terrorists. 5 minutes after their communications were disconnected, so the soldiers were able to reconnect with the home base, and they said that the RPG hit. They were walking in a straight line, the soldiers, and they said that the RPG hit a direct hit right in the middle of the line of the soldiers. And they said that they were that from the explosion they flew to all different directions, but from such a direct hit, so they usually, Rahman litzlan, there are soldiers that lose their life, or at least there are soldiers that are injured. But in this particular case, not only didn't anyone lose their life or get injured, that everyone came out without a scratch. And they asked, how is that possible? And they explained, that morning it rained very heavily, and when the missile was shot, so the missile was actually, when it was shot, it landed and it bored itself into the muddy ground. And when it was stuck inside the ground, that's when it exploded. So it basically exploded inside the ground. From the explosion, it was a really heavy explosion. All the soldiers were flown to all different directions. But Baruch Hashem, since it exploded inside the ground, inside the mud, so no one was hurt, no one was injured, even no one was scratched. And this was the miracle with this particular force that went in Hanukkah. When they arrived back and they told their story, so it happened that Shlomo Chaim Shire saw the same officer that called him over earlier, and he asked him, "So what do you say? Is it worthwhile to give charity every day?" So he looks at Shlomo Chaim, and his face turns as white as a ghost. And he said, and then Shlomo Chaim said, "Listen, I didn't mean to offend you." He said, No, you didn't offend me. you saved my life. And it turns out that this particular force that went into Gaza that day of Hanukkah, the commander of the force was this same officer that was standing in front of Shlomo Chaim, the same officer that asked him, what is this all about, putting the coins into the box? And he explained to him about charity. And he said to him, you saved me. The fact that you made sure that everyone was giving charity in our regiment, you saved my life and you saved the force that I was commanding that day. To say the least, the same Egoz regiment that Shlomo Chaim was part of it, the same Egoz regiment, they actually also exited. They left Gaza without one injury, without one soldier. That all the soldiers were protected, and Baruch Hashem, Hashem should watch over all of these soldiers, not only this particular regiment, but all of our soldiers, and Hashem should bring us the biggest miracle without any deaths, God forbid, without any injuries. We should have a complete victory, and all those that are injured, Rahman litzlan, should be healed, and all the hostages that were taken should be returned. And it should all be with his golus, the revelation of the Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach, and it should be teichef umiyad, immediately now. Yechi Adonenu Moreinu v'Rabbeinu HaMelech HaMoshiach Chai v'Kayim le'olam v'ed.